Okay, so before I go into the title of the talk, I'm just going to go into explaining what non-duality is. That is the most important bit. That is the excuse. The title is just the excuse for talking about non-duality. So non-duality is pointing to something that's here prior to everything else that's happening, prior to thoughts, to feelings, to ideas, to sensations. It's going back to ground zero, what you truly are. And for most people in this society, that part of experiencing is forgotten. What they believe themselves to be is a name, an idea, a feeling, a sensation, a story, and they're totally invested in that side of themselves, in the personal side of themselves. And they've forgotten the other part of themselves, that who they are is also source, the saucy source, which is always here, it's never left them. And from being disconnected to that, there is a discontentment that arises in life. There is this seeking energy which arises. So not connecting, so not knowing who you are, creates a discomfort with the experiencing. So non-duality to me isn't talking about making you a better person, improving your psychology, although I endlessly recommend it, and I personally have found psychology super helpful in my life. But that's not what it's talking about. That's like suddenly talking about if you had a better car, you would be happier, or if you had a taller tree in your garden, you would be happier. It's by and by. It's beside the point. It will make you most probably more calm and more happy and more able to relate to other humans and to have better communication skills and better ways of dealing with your work, with your social life, with your family. So it will reduce a lot of pain. But it's not what in non-duality would be defined as suffering. The suffering comes from the attachment to that person, the attachment to the psychology, and the attachment to the belief that freedom is found by getting something in the future and avoiding something that's happened in the past. So it's in getting a new house, that is your freedom, or avoiding bad things happening, an earthquake happening. Whereas these are pleasures and pain. And this isn't just singular to non-duality. In Buddhism, they talk about craving, this craving energy. And it's not the actual urge to get a house that's the problem. It's not the urge to make a life, have a partner, have children, to do things that's the problem. It's the belief, which is an energetic thing, that when you do that, you will be able to rest. So it's looking for source in a place where it can't be found, but it doesn't even know that it's looking for source. So right now, the question is, who is looking out of your eyes? So who is experiencing this reality? The thoughts say it's me, and me is something that goes in time. So me is what I've done, who I am, an idea, the voice in my head, the choices I make. It's kind of body-based. It's something that is being experienced. So you experience your desire to listen to this talk. You experience your desire to go and eat a cookie, and you experience your desire to want something. You also know the thoughts of your job or your title or your position in society. So what is it then that's experiencing that? Because none of that's experiencing, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see that, because it's being experienced. It cannot be the seer, just like the chair cannot be the seer. I mean, you could say it as another sentence, but like you can say that like the computer can't be the seer because it's being experienced. So the body's being experienced, so that's not the experiencer. So anything that's being experienced is not the experiencer, because there's something that's watching that. So who and what is watching all of this and experiencing all of this? So who is hearing Lisa, seeing Lisa, experiencing Lisa? The thoughts, the ideas and the sensations are interpreting Lisa. So there is an interpretation process, but there's something that is conscious of that interpretation process. And this is who you truly are. So who is it that's experiencing this? What is experiencing this? So right now, the mind might be looking for something. It's looking to relax, to feel better, to get something from this situation. So just notice that there's something that's watching that, and there is this sense of I am beingness in which that's appearing in. And that dynamic of wanting something will come and go, but the I am and the empty looking, the watching, doesn't move. Yourself remains always, while everything else comes and goes. So notice the mind getting that. So notice that there's an activity of the mind, like seeking, seeking, seeking. And then there is this empty looking. And the empty looking is not separate from anything that it's looking at. So I don't appear outside of your empty looking. The computer doesn't appear outside your empty looking. The room doesn't appear outside your empty looking. Everything is the empty looking and that sense of I am. There's no distinction between objects and that. There is only seeming distinction because the separate self, the identity, claims that and makes it feel energetically like there is a limitation of this body. But when you explore consciousness and looking, you begin to realize that consciousness and things are one and the same thing. You can't separate consciousness from these things, and that this moment is all there is. Everything else is conjecture, is thought, is ideas. It's always appearing now. So that what's really important is what's here now. That's totally unsatisfying to the mind. The mind wants food for thought. It wants to do things. It wants to have things. It wants to own things. And there is a natural aspect to that. That's not all seeking. There's a natural aspect to grow. Everything is seemingly about growth in this manifestation. So the person wants to grow, but the seeking part, the identification part, comes from that is who I am. So becoming somebody that owns a house, having children, that is who I am, that's my identity, and I will find freedom in that. That's not your identity, that's form that appears, that's seemingly the identity, so you're looking through these bodies, but it's not who you are. Who you are is this moment right now. It's so free. And all it wants is itself. So this moment only wants itself, whatever is appearing. So you can call it love. Like whatever's appearing, that's what it wants. So you could say your true self loves everything, rejects nothing. It's in love with everything. It's right here, right now, and loves all things. Everything it's appearing, including sensations of discomfort. You could say that every thought, feeling, idea that you have is illusory. It's not really truth because it's all coming from a particular perspective. It's the same with sensation. It's all like the matrix of these bodies. So everything you're experiencing is not really truth. Okay, so we can go to, oh, I didn't fill it in with the title, did I? So the title is Non-Duality Giving False Hope? So it is giving false hope to the person. So the person is looking for freedom. The awakening, I think, changes the person. So there's a shift in the person, and then after the awakening, the person should keep trying to, or naturally try to expand that realization into its dynamics. But the idea for the person prior to awakening that non-duality is going to save them or is going to give them a paradise is a lie. It's not the person that wakes up. I can't iterate that enough. The person cannot wake up because the person doesn't exist. The person is a conglomeration of, I can't say that word, thoughts, feelings, ideas, sensations, energies, stories, narrations, choices, apparent past events, future events, titles within society. It's all these different things which are only arising now. So in every moment there is a chemistry arising and images arising, giving the appearance of a person that's subjective and interacting with the world, but it's only being produced in every moment. It's like smoke and mirrors. It doesn't actually inherently exist. It's an energy that arises with this body. And you can say like there's a character, so there's the character of Lisa which arises, which is seemingly consistent throughout the day and the week and the months and the years. But that isn't actually something that inherently exists. That's images, ideas, thoughts that are arising now. What always exists and what you always are is the I am and the empty looking. And that bundle of energy gets the idea, this is for me, I'm going to wake up. But it's not that wakes up. It's like there is a change from the person being the main and the only thing in focus to the person going into the background, and who you are right now is consciousness, is that empty looking. This is who you are. So yes, it gives false hope, but what to do? Anything that's spoken, the person will take into itself and be like, me, 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 me. It's the way it goes. Okay, so